Good evening, everyone, and welcome to This Week from Rockdale. And I am your host, Larry Cox, and I'm quieting some things over here on the side. Thank you for joining me this evening for this Wednesday edition of This Week from Rockdale. I'm going to say hello to some people in the chat. Then I'm going to ask you guys to share and like this show. So we're going to talk about some things tonight that I think the people in Rockdale County need to hear and they need to know. So first, let me say hello to Mr. Dan Burks. Dan, great to have you on the show tonight. Let me say hello to Mr. Clayton Orwig. Clayton, great to have you on the show tonight. Let me say hello to Charlotte Gillard. Charlotte, great to have you here. Jill Oden, great to have you on the show tonight, Jill. William Campbell, nice to see you. I talked to William a little earlier. Catherine Lynn, great to have you on the show tonight. Like I'm saying, guys, if you are a fan of the show and you want to make sure other people get to know what we're going to talk and chat about tonight, why don't you like and share this broadcast right now so that other people in Rockdale County will get the opportunity to see your comments and hear my comments as we talk about some important things that are going on in Rockdale County. We're going to talk about electricity today. We're going to talk about a little bit about the warming center in Rockdale County today, just a little bit. But we're going to talk about some things that I think that the citizens of Rockdale County have a right to know. And I'm going to talk to you about some upcoming events that will be scheduled here shortly for you, the citizens of Rockdale County, to be involved with so that you can make a difference in your community. So, and let me see, we've got some more people that have joined us. Let me say hello to those folks. Good evening, Mary Boysworth, and good evening, Voices for Rockdale, which will be Miss Corliss Turner. Glad to have all of you on the show tonight. And again, like I said, why don't we share and like this broadcast so that we are able to help inform citizens of Rockdale County of important, vital information that's going on. James Corbett just joined the show, and Jeff Meeks just joined the show. Thanks for joining the show, guys. It's an honor to have each and every one of you join me on the show tonight, and I can't wait to get started in talking about a few things. So we've given each of you an opportunity to share and like this broadcast so that people can know what's going on, because the only way we're going to change our community is by informing our community. And that's what we need to do. We need to keep our community informed. Now, I'm going to share something with you that Snapping Shoals EMC had put on their social media page here on Saturday. So let me go ahead and do this, and we'll share this, and then we'll read the comment in case some of you can't read it. So it says snapping. It's right here. You can look. And it is from Snapping Shoals EMC, and it's their symbol, December 24th at 2:02 p.m. And this was on their Facebook page. Snapping Shoals EMC received notice from our power supplier, which will be Georgia Power, that the electrical system is currently being stressed to its fullest extent. We encourage our members to reduce the load, your electricity usage, at your home by doing the following. Lower your thermostat at least 2 degrees. Turn off and unplug unnecessary electronics, including lights. Do not use any appliances or other electronics unless absolutely necessary. If you have an electric heater, a water heater, delay the use of hot water at this time. We understand this is a challenge, and we appreciate your patience as we face this extreme cold together. So, guys, I mean, this is a statement that was put out by Snapping Shoals EMC. We've had, like a 4-day cold snap here, 3 days. It's beginning to warm up today. So, we're going to get warmer as the days go along. But we had like a 3-day cold snap, and it stressed our electric grid all over. It stressed our electric grid here in Rockdale County, in Georgia, and across, the area that was impacted by this polar plunge. Now, several things that concern me when we look at what Rockdale County and some of the decisions this county has made in the last year. Not only this county, but the city government. by deciding to approve high density housing projects and to increase and build an additional 4,000 to 5,000 units in this county, that will put a strain on the electric grid. It will put a strain on water and sewer because these projects were all approved within what I call the sewer zone and the water zone, which all these folks are hooked to, and it will be hooked to. They did not do their due diligence in determining what these additional high density housing units would do to the current infrastructure in Rockdale County. And I mentioned this because a few weeks ago, if you guys know, I had a little infrastructure 101 on the show, and we're going to do another infrastructure 101 class here in the next couple of months, so that as this people come on and we get new viewers, I think it's only fair that we re-look at some of the things that we've talked about, so that the new viewers can understand where we're going with these things. So we have just 3 days of extreme cold temperatures have strained the electric grid. And in Rockdale County, we're proposing putting 4,000 to 5,000 additional homes on that electric grid. Also hooking them up to our water and sewer, straining an already limited system. Now, one would say, why would the Rockdale County government and the city of Conyers government do this? There is only one reason: to increase revenue. So they can't grow land, but what they can do is approve high density housing, build more housing units so they can collect more property taxes. That's solely what this whole thing is about, ladies and gentlemen. This is about Rockdale County and the city of Conyers growing their tax base and growing revenue. That's what this whole thing is about in a nutshell. You can't grow land to build new properties. So they decide to go the high density route and cramming homes into small landmass areas so that they can gain additional tax base by taxing these additional units. That's the only thing this is about, guys. It's about taxation. And it's disregarding the needs of the citizens of Rockdale County, because they want to grow government at such a pace that we can't afford it. And that is just ridiculous, folks. But what can we do as citizens here in Rockdale County? What power do we have to prevent these kind of things? We have the power of the ballot box and not electing post one and the chairman in 2024. That's the power that we have. And we have to really do a good job of spreading this message, spreading the word, and letting the voters of Rockdale County, and specifically a certain group of voters, we need to let the homeowners and the property taxpayers of Rockdale County know that they are being taken advantage and they are being exploited by the county and city government of Rockdale County. And that's truly what's going on. I want to talk to you about, somebody called me today and they discussed with me about the warming shelter that Rockdale County opened up during this cold snap. And I think they opened up at JP Carr. And they had, initially, I guess they were going to do some volunteers. And then they wanted, listen to this, paid volunteers that would get premium pay, holiday pay, triple time. Guys, there was probably a better way to run this than the way they did it, right? So it would have probably been cheaper. Anybody who was, needed a place to stay warm, we could have worked out a deal with a local hotel, got them some rooms, provided them with some meals from some local restaurants. We could have probably, instead of what we did buying cots and getting this makeshift stuff and, cold snacks and such at JP Carr. We probably could have, if someone wants a, go find a police officer, find somebody, have a hotline. They could, what hotel it is, somebody from the government, from the emergency management would meet the individuals at the hotel. A hotel would call, they would go there, they would be able to check, get these individuals checked into rooms, be able to feed them, make sure they were taken care of during this cold weather event. There were a lot better ways to take care of this than it was done. But this is what we got to remember. The same people who gave us Trashgate, the same people who gave away Parker Road, the same people who want to cram a courthouse expansion in a place that it shouldn't go in Old Town Conyers, the same people who have raised your taxes time and time again, the same people who brought the PFA to your neighborhood, these are the same individuals who don't have a brain one among them. That's the same people that we're talking about. That is ridiculous. You talked, Tammy, Kim, you talked about, the places over on Old Salem. I was over today over by the Target and the new complexes they're building, the townhomes they're building over there at Bonfire. Those are horrible looking. They are so trashy looking. I mean, I would love for you guys. They talked about they were in $250,000, $300,000. I mean, the siding is shoddy. You see all the seams. It is just a terrible. I mean, those are not $300,000 pieces of or units, guys. They can say what they want. And then I drove by some different things that they've built here in Rockdale County that aren't rented, they aren't sold. These things are not moving the way that the county and city, for the need. All we're going to do is put people that were originally in some houses in those units, and we're going to have vacant houses. We're not going to add additional people to Rockdale County. We're just going to shift people around. Then we talk about, people were asking me, are these units going to impact the schools? I personally don't think they're going to impact the schools because I don't think they're going to draw individuals with children to Rockdale County. We look back at our census report for the last 10 years, and it shows us that the fastest growing demographics and age groups in Rockdale County are the 55 to 64 and 64 and older. So we have the older groups that are the ones that they're growing, and the school age is dropping down. So that's what we're going on. This is ridiculous. So we need to share all this information that we can. We need to make sure everybody is aware of the incompetence and the lack of planning and thinking that these people do. I mean, we see from the pretend infrastructure task force that we've got. We have a pretend infrastructure task force, and we have a pretend committee that's looking at a courthouse. They're no longer actually really looking at a courthouse. That is an administrative committee. And I mentioned it the other day with a side of courthouse. It's even worse than that now. When you go to, you go and you get something, you get a side of fries, that's heartier and it's, more. We're not even getting a side of fries with this admin thing now, right? We're getting a half a side salad. So I'm referring to the courthouse portion of this as a half of a side salad. So if we look at this as a meal, we're getting the admin as a steak and the courthouse portion is a half of a side salad, guys. So, and remember that when they sold this PFA idea and they went to the local delegation and said, we got to have this. This is for the courthouse. Guys, we see that this is not for the courthouse because they're talking about the Board of Commissions needs. The Board of Commissions needs for an admin building. their safety, their desire. Remember, a few years ago was all about the courthouse. Well, we've shifted from the courthouse. At the end of the day, other than a remodel and a few gallons of paint, I don't know if the courthouse is going to get anything. Just being real with you guys, right? So, I mean, they've over exaggerated the American Disabilities Act stuff because there's actually nothing that can happen with that as long as that building maintains the way it is, no drastic changes. We don't move out. I mean, that building is grandfathered, guys. Just facts about it. Do your research and look at it. They can't make them do anything. They can suggest, but they can't make them do anything. They really can't. They can't. This county government is lying to you. And and you've got this city government going along with this nonsense because when they built their municipal building, when they built their new city hall, they didn't build in Old Town. They moved right outside of Old Town and built because they knew it didn't make sense and they couldn't afford the price tag. So did they do the right thing because it was the right thing? No. They did the right thing because that's all they could afford. They built to what they could afford is what they did, guys. So Rockdale County citizens, Rockdale County people, we've got to quit letting this county government and this city government exploit and take advantage of us. But then again, it's not just the city government and the county government. It's also the Board of Education. The Board of Education, they strip us of finances, resources, and they give nothing back. They want to tout this great education system we have in Rockdale County, which has declined drastically. And behind closed doors, you'll even have the politicians in Rockdale County discussing how this education system is hurting their ability to draw business and other people to Rockdale County. And it is. Because the first things that people look at is how am I going to educate my workforce and people that are going to move here? What kind of education are my children going to get in this community? Not very good, because the schools, they give themselves awards, they give themselves all these high fives, and it's for nothing. I think we've got somebody new coming on the school board, Janie Jones. I hope that she is an ally with the guys. I just get so upset when I think about the school board and how they waste money. And they've got this Terry Oates character that he thinks he's a fashion model or some kind of nonsense, right? Who never met a camera he didn't like, with all his selfies and these portraits. This is just ridiculous, people. It is ridiculous. Rockdale County deserves so much more. We deserve better, guys. Here coming in January, second, third week of January, the Rockdale Voter is going to organize a town hall. We are going to organize a town hall about senior tax exemption. It's time the nonsense stops in Rockdale County. It's time that our seniors quit bearing the burden of the ridiculous spending of the Board of Commission, the Board of Education, and the City of Conyers. It's time that the citizens of Rockdale County, and specifically the senior citizens of Rockdale County, are offered the much needed tax relief that they need. Someone over 70 years old who has put their blood, sweat, and tears into this community, they need to have a break. They need a break from taxes. They need to be able to live the rest of their lives tax-free. They do not need to be contributing any longer. And if you're somebody young and says it ain't fair, then you want to step up and pay more, then you go tell them, take an extra % out of your money. I myself am 58 years old. I'm getting ready to get into that threshold at some point where I'm going to retire. I'm going to be on a limited income, and I'm going to need that much needed tax relief. So this is for me, it's for you, it's for those seniors that are there right now. And it's for all of us who are going to be there at some point. Uh, I have began to notify members of the local delegation that we will be having this town hall. We will be broadcasting this, putting this out there. We will be inviting we will ask each and every one of you to invite your friends and neighbors, colleagues and friends to this town hall. And we're going to invite those legislators. We're going to start an email campaign right after the first of the year because we've already have a piece of legislation that somewhat outline that we would like them to introduce. We are going to reinitiate that call for people to send that email to these legislators. We will update that email list so the correct legislators are on that email list, and we're going to start bombarding them with emails letting them know the taxpayers of Rockdale County want it on the ballot. You know, and we can talk about it. 96% of you, 96% of Rockdale County taxpayers voted for that tax relief the other day for senior citizens. 96% of Rockdale County residents voted to give senior citizens an additional $15,000 tax credit. And I will guarantee you will have 90-some percent of Rockdale County citizens vote to exempt senior citizens from property taxes after the age of 70. And we will start at age 65 and we will percent that down. Let me tell you, it will be something when the citizens of Rockdale County take back their county. We reset Rockdale. We do it by encouraging and demanding our local delegation to represent us, the citizen and the taxpayer and the voter, and not represent the Board of Commission. We demand this. And if they don't do it, then in 24, you vote them out of office too. Seniors, people 55 and older are the top voting bloc in Rockdale County. If we unite and vote together, we get our way, because it's our way, because this is representative government. The purpose of these individuals are to invoke the will of the people, to carry out our needs, our wishes, invoke our will, not invoke their will upon us. It's time that we educate people on what representative government actually is and what it looks like if you elect people who really do listen to you. They just don't hear you. Hearing is nothing more than something natural that occurs if your eardrums work and noise is bounced in. But listening is when you take those words that come, you process them, you come to a conclusion, and you act upon them. That is listening, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what we need our elected officials to actually do. Listen to us. We're not only going to ask it, we are going to demand it. And I have mentioned this, and I'm going to mention this probably every show for the next year and a half or so. I will be running for chairman of Rockdale County as an independent. I've had many people reach out to me, talk to me about this, encourage me about this, think it's a great idea. We're going to find out how great of an idea it is, because it's not them putting their name, going to spend their money and their time on this. It's me. But I believe in it so much, I'm willing to do that I'm willing to put myself on the line. You know, that's the thing about it too, guys. Got a good paying job. I make enough money to take care of my wife and myself. And you know what? That's what we need to do. We need to quit electing people that don't have 2 damn pennies to rub together to represent us. Because when we do that, we're asking for corruption and graft. That's all we're asking for. When you elect people who are themselves broke as hell to run our government, should we expect nothing more but them to steal our money? You need to elect people that don't need your money. I don't need your money. but I don't want to be robbed out of my money. And it's time we make a difference. It's time to put somebody in office who will put people above politics, people before party. I intend to resign from the Republican Party after I get these 2 conventions done, and I will be an independent. No, I'm not forming an independent party. I will be an independent. I will not be beholden to a party or any organization. I will only be accountable to the taxpayers and voters of Rockdale County. That's who I will be accountable to. I will not be accountable to a party platform or a party ideology. I will be held accountable to the ideas and dreams that I come forth with and present to you. That's what I will be. That's what I will be. I believe in moving forward and not backwards. The first thing we have to do to move forward is we have to get a forensic audit. We have to do that so that we can clear the path to run a new administration and not be bogged down with financial what ifs. We need to know what the true financial stability and what the true finances of this county look like. The only way to do that is a forensic audit and to ask tough questions and to probably get some answers we don't want. And then there will probably be some consequences to a true forensic audit in Rockdale County. I would spend the month of December, if elected in November, writing letters to individuals who are currently employed to this county, asking them to resign during the first quarter of the new year. Because we won't be able to move forward with all this baggage in tow. It'll have to be a clean slate. People who have held long-time positions in Rockdale County under my administration would no longer be employed in Rockdale County. And we're going to make, Larry Cox, you're going to make those employees angry. Well, you know what? What does it matter? They don't live here. They can't vote for me. That's reality. These individuals in these positions that all make 6 figures do not live in Rockdale County and cannot vote in Rockdale County. So when people who don't live here and don't vote here want to influence who your representatives are, that's a problem to me because they don't mean anything to me because they are not looking out after my best interest or your best interest. So in the month of December, when I'm elected, I will be drafting letters asking people to resign. I will be recruiting a running mate to run for the post 1 position so that we will be able to accomplish things. We will have 2 votes to be able to, if these individuals don't resign, we will be removing them from office. Rockdale County needs a clean slate. To reset Rockdale, we have to have a clean slate. Guys, these are big dreams, big plans. I can't do it alone. It'll take you. These are things that in Rockdale County are not heard of. It's things people don't talk about, but it's things that need to happen. We need to make a difference in Rockdale County. And the only way to make a difference in Rockdale County is to go big. You got to swing hard and go for that home run. If we really want to make a difference in Rockdale County, that's how we do it. Rockdale County, we can change our direction. We change it with a clean sweep. We change it with cleaning the house. We change it by resetting Rockdale. I challenge you to help me. I challenge you to get on board. I challenge you to share this show. Share this show because we're going to be bringing a lot more things. As soon as we can work things out, I do want to bring on about our water issues in Rockdale County. We have water problems, sewer problems. We have electrical grid problems. We have corruption in Rockdale County that, as your next chairman, I will expose. I will expose the past corruption that has plagued this county for a decade. That I pledge to you. I pledge to you to expose the corruption that has plagued this county for a decade. That's all I can do. It's all I can ask. I'm going to get off of here now. Wednesday show sometimes can be a little short, but I'm glad each and every one of you joined me. Like I say, guys, share this show. Tell your neighbors to start watching this show, because we're going to talk hard stuff here on this show. And it's stuff that this county government, city government, and Board of Education do not want people to know. I don't know if before I go, I got to just one more thing. Graduations in Rockdale County this year will not happen in Rockdale County. Do not know if you guys are aware of this, but the Board of Education and this guy, Terry Oates, who don't live here either, have booked New Birth in DeKalb County to host all 3 high schools graduating from Rockdale County on one day, New Birth, DeKalb County. So our students aren't even going to begin their post-graduation lives in Rockdale County. They're already moving them out of Rockdale County to DeKalb County to graduate. Were you guys aware of that? Were you aware that the Rockdale County Board of Education had already booked New Birth Baptist Church in DeKalb County to host the graduations? And Jill Odom there on a Wednesday. You're paying for it. I'm paying for it. We're all paying for this. Nobody discussed this with us. Something they just decided. Terry Oates, brain surgeon, Dr. Terry Oates, calling Dr. Terry Oates. I got to be good. Not being nice. Larry, calm down. So, guys, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to leave you tonight. I appreciate this. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching tonight. I will be on here Sunday. Jill Odom, they don't care what we think. Agree 100%, Jill. They don't not care what we think. If they did, we wouldn't have to be going to drastic measures like we are. Just to let you know, too, I've talked to a few people. I know a few people that are going to run for Board of Education here in 24. Talk to them. They're probably going to put a slate of 5 individuals together to run against the people that are in there now, so we can reset Rockdale. Boy, we're on the path of resetting Rockdale. Guys, good night. I will see you Sunday. We're going to have some more information about the Warman Center. Thanks, guys, and we'll be back with you on Sunday night.